Welcome back to another episode of the Sarasota County Schools In Tune podcast. On this episode, we're covering a very important topic for our district, our summer feeding program. I'm Chris Parento, your host for this episode, and joining me today is Sara Dan, our district's Director of Food and Nutrition Services. Sara, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and talk about this really important program.
Can you talk about what the summer feeding program is and how it works for families throughout Sarasota County?
Our summer food service program, in the state of Florida, they call it the Summer Break Spot program, is actually an initiative the district has done since 1997. And Sarasota was unique back then in the fact that we feed our school sites in the summertime, but we also go out and feed students in the community as well.
Can you talk about the importance of having that for students and for families over the summer?
I think now it's probably even more important. You know, with the cost of everything going up, this is a place where families can go. They can feed their kids breakfast and lunch. It can help supplement their cost of meals.
What types of food and meals are available as options?
We do hot foods for lunch Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays it is a cold meal, but the meal consists of an entree and then fruits and vegetables and then milk.
How great is it to be able to provide healthy options to kids when they're not in school?
Well, you know, over the years we've really seen the importance of this. I was at the Robert Taylor community center doing a review of the program, and this little girl came up and was so excited that she had packed her lunch. And all of a sudden, the camp counselor came around and had this really weird look on her face, and she said, "Hey, can this student have a meal?" And we were like, "Of course, any student, even if they pack their lunch, can still get a meal." All she had in her lunchbox was a bag of chips and a candy bar. How do you go about your day and eat only eating that?
How's the utilization of the summer feeding program?
Every year, we really try to get the word out to our families that it's available, because literally any family could participate. They can come to a site and get a meal. But also we want our kids that maybe are attending summer school to know that we're going to feed them. There's no charge over the summer because of these programs. And so we really just try to get the word out, and have worked on different avenues throughout the years just to make families know that this resource is available.
Is this something that families have to sign up for?
No, if they are at school or if they're at a camp and we feed them, or a community site, they just have to participate. Kind of work it down to a science, and we figure out about how many meals we need based on enrollment, like at a community site. And then those community sites communicate with us. We watch our numbers. So what we do in Sarasota that is a little unique, we have production kitchens throughout Sarasota County, and then we ship meals out during the summer. Our summer team is pretty amazing, and what they do and how they orchestrate moving food around at the right temperature, at the right time. There's quite a logistics operation that goes on.
How many different sites are there?
Any summer, we can have anywhere from about 41, 42 sites to almost 50. So this summer, we've got a few more sites. Right now, I think we're sitting around 42, but we have 3 sites that we're coming on for the first time.
Is there a place where families would be able to go to find that information on what those sites are?
Sure. So obviously the school district website has that information, but we also try to get the word out through news releases. All Face Food Bank often will broadcast our sites as well to help families just know where they can go to get food.
Can you talk about how this summer food program is funded and also who's eligible for it?
The program is actually funded through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And so the meals that we serve to the students are compiled, and then we have to send that off to the state so that we're reimbursed for them. Who's eligible? Any child in Sarasota County can come to these sites and get a meal. So they don't have to be enrolled in Sarasota County schools. They could be homeschooled, or maybe they go to a private school, or maybe they're a preschooler. We don't have food for infants, but we do have food for any child in our community over the summer months.
If a parent has a child with a food allergy, is there somewhere that they can go to find out what's on the menu over the summer so they can know whether or not that's a good day to go get their kid food?
Yes. So the menu on the website or the app, there is a filter that you can select, and it will strike out the allergens. So it really helps families navigate if they have some sort of food allergy. The other thing that we do in the school district with the registered dietitians that we have on staff is we really come alongside our parents and our families to help them if they want to eat with us in the school year or in the summertime, how we can best navigate that menu. Because besides making sure kids are not hungry in the classroom, we also want to keep kids safe. And so our website is a great tool for families. If it's a complicated food allergy, a lot of times one of the registered dietitians on staff does need to get involved.
Changing gears a little bit, we've got the new website, we've got the new app. Can you talk about the food and nutrition services on there with families being able to easily find their lunch menus for their schools and, rotate from school to school easily if they have multiple kids?
We're excited about the new possibilities that can do in just helping our families know how to access what's on the menu. Again, we're always trying to make sure that we're getting that information to our parents.
I know a lot of people wonder how we go about setting the lunch menus for the week or for the month. Can you talk about the rhyme and the reason behind that?
I think a lot of people, don't realize that we are under strict guidelines from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We have to meet nutritional requirements for student growth, for children's growth, and that varies from age to age. So our food has to meet requirements for whole grain, fat requirements, sodium requirements. We have to make sure, like with fruits and vegetables, a lot of times people don't realize that with vegetables, we have to offer what they're called vegetable subgroups. So a certain times during the week, we have to make sure students get dark green vegetables, the access to them. Obviously, a student has to select them, or red-orange vegetables, or a certain number of starchy vegetables. And all of that stuff is strictly monitored. And so we actually have an operations team. Myself and 2 other registered dietitians sit on that team, as well as a lot of dedicated people that really try to make sure we're feeding kids food that they like. Because if a kid doesn't eat, that's not going to benefit them. They're not going to get the nutrition if they don't eat it. So we have kid-friendly foods, but then we have to make sure that they meet the guidelines. And it's sometimes a real art to get that accomplished.
Can you talk about the correlation between nutrition and educational success?
There's a lot of research that show that kids who don't eat breakfast don't do as well in school. That students that don't have a really quality diet may not perform as well academically. And we all know that if a student's hungry, they're going to have a hard time learning whether it's in the afternoon or if they don't have breakfast, they may fall asleep in class. So we take our jobs really seriously because we know a teacher can't do their job if a kid's hungry. And our entire team really goes above and beyond because they know that child, the role of the teacher is so much harder if a student's hungry. And so we take that very seriously in our department.
Sara, thank you again so much for all of your insight on this topic for our community.
Thank you, Chris.
For more information about the summer feeding program, you can go to the district's website, sarasotacountyschools.net, and search summer feeding programs. We hope you'll join us again next time for the next episode of the Sarasota County Schools In Tune podcast.